Time for a very good reason. You don't want to hear me. If you do know me, I'm still Bryan Cather. I'm still a historian from St. Louis and all of that. What I'm going to be talking to, the presentation itself is not terribly long, but it's fully intended to make you think and to generate questions and all of that sort of dialogue-inducing topic. So with that in mind, don't be afraid to ask questions. I'll open it up at the end and we'll hopefully have some good, fruitful, thoughtful discussion come out of this. One of the things I do in St. Louis, I work at the Scott Joplin House State Historic Site. One of the things I do in my spare time, if I have it, is historical research. Looking at often things that other people haven't necessarily looked at. I started looking at the environment Scott Joplin lived in. And well, there was a couple of things that I couldn't quite reconcile. The sort of accepted story, if you will, of Joplin's environment, that he was this sort of barroom honky-tonk pianist that somehow made good and connected with publishers and wrote this wonderful music, and okay, that doesn't quite fit. And then because you start reading about his life, and here's this guy that got all sorts of respect, and okay, he wasn't necessarily a really good pianist, so how is he working now? So anyway, so to back up a little bit, one of the things that we typically want to place Scott Joplin in a sort of Hell's Half-Acre, honky-tonk, red light district environment. And that didn't quite sit right. I wondered what was up with that. So to start with, I want to back up with a very basic chronology, just so everybody's on the same page. And this is basically looking at where he lived in big, broad terms. He was born near Texarkana in about 1868, settled in Sedalia, Missouri, followed the 1893 World's Fair or thereabouts, moved to St. Louis summer of 1901, moved to New York latter part of 1970. Now, I was talking with somebody last night. So Scott Joplin was in St. Louis from 1901 to 1970. Yeah, kind of. There's everything that we think we knew about him. I hope to turn that on its head. The image we have had of Scott Joplin, as I said, has anybody seen the Billy D. Williams Scott Joplin movie? You know, the really laughable, and he's playing in bars and honky tonks, and it's this wide open environment. To quote Ed Berlin in his King of Ragtime, the area of St. Louis that Scott Joplin moved to, this is in 1901, was a black neighborhood, the city's red light district, and a major early center for the development of black Midwestern ragtime. Red light district. I looked around for a definition of a red light district. Wikipedia has a handy one. A red light district is a part of an urban area where there is a concentration of prostitution and sex-oriented businesses, such as sex shops, strip clubs, adult theaters, etc. The term originates from the red lights that were used as the signs of brothels. So this is an environment we've got Joplin in, this of crime, prostitution, gambling, drinking. Okay, where's the historical evidence for this? The area was a fertile area for popular songs. Library of Congress, I believe? Yeah, Library of Congress has come out and said that 80% of what counts as American folk lore, American folk culture, comes out of the little couple of square mile district that Joplin was operating in. Okay, lots of music, Frankie and Johnny, Trara Boomdier, Hot Time in the Old Town Tonight. Lots of music that's part of our pop culture. But was it a red light district? Was it? Sure, it was there, some of it. This is a page out of St. Louis Palladium, the black newspaper that was published in St. Louis in the early 1900s. This is their ad page. Does this look like a red light district? It's kind of hard to see the detail. I condensed it down. 25 churches in a red light district. 25 churches, 4 bars and saloons, 4 hotels and boarding houses, 3 tailors. They dress nice. 2 restaurants, 2 dry goods stores, 2 barber shops, a dairy, a grocer, an undertaker, an express agent. There's also, this was a business district. This was a community that had every type of business, every type of income level you'd find in any other neighborhood. And somehow I wound up with 2 slides of this. So. All right. There was a lot going on. This was, you have to remember, this was during the period when, in the broader culture, the beginnings, in the late 1890s, early 1900s, beginnings of the progressive movement with Teddy Roosevelt, where there was a grassroots effort to induce societal change. That was where we got child labor laws. That's where we got the beginnings of women's suffrage. That's where we got a lot of the social reforms that addressed the gross social deficiencies of the Gilded Age. And in St. Louis, in the St. Louis black community, there was a number of prominent, wealthy, relatively wealthy, black and white business leaders that took this to heart, that were developing societal institutions in the community. They opened the Douglas Hotel, which they opened for African Americans who were coming to the 1904 World's Fair. They opened the Pythian Home, which was a home for, senior citizens. They opened a colored YMCA. They opened Providence Hospital, which was at the time only one of 2 hospitals in St. Louis where black patients could be treated. Incidentally, that Providence Hospital was catty-cornered across from where Joplin lived. If you've ever played at the New Rosebud Cafe at Scott Joplin House, it's catty-cornered across from that building. The Douglas Hotel was kind of an interesting place. In fact, this whole topic came out of my wondering about the Douglas Hotel, because there's several references to it as a ragtime venue. Tom Turpin's Rosebud Club held their annual ball there. Piano playing contest, 1904. Turpin and Louis Chauvin played there. Scott Joplin performed there. Louis Chauvin played there again on June 30th of 1905. This was a major venue. I mean, this was a place where every prominent black ragtime performer played, and not just the ragtime guys, the jazz guys too. Up until recently, we've only had 2 photographs of venues where Joplin played. We've had the picture of the Maple Leaf Club that you've seen, probably, that looks like it was taken in the 1930s, long after Joplin was gone. We've had some pictures of the Rosebud Cafe that Tom Turpin owned, but they're very small, grainy pictures out of newspaper. Folks, there's the Douglas Hotel. The building on the corner, the 4 or 3-story building, the large building, just forward of the warehouse. And that was what it was when this picture was taken. You could blow this picture up and read the sign on the door says Douglas Hotel. Joplin played there, Turpin played there, Chauvin played there. About the time this picture was taken. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is this stable community of business leaders and forward-thinking people, where's the wild stuff? Where's the red light district? Where's the bar he's playing? Where is it? Well, there was a red light district at this time. It was down on Targhee Street. You may have seen references to it. Targhee Street was essentially an alley in St. Louis between 14th and 15th Street. No longer there. If you go there now, you'll find the Peabody Opera House. But it was there that Tom Turpin had his first bar, and it was there that he was working when Harlem Rag and the other early Turpin rags were published. But that was a ways away. That was a good ways away. Come on, Turpin. How close was it? Where was Joplin in relation to this? The place he lived on Morgan Street, that's now the Scott Joplin State Historic Site. He was there early in his time in St. Louis, probably about a year around 1902. That was about almost a mile away from the Targhee Street bars.